been a couple of weeks since I picked up from this video. Ended up getting the halo rings that I needed and the demon eyes as well. So yeah, I just repainted these back to satin black to suit the rest of the housing, because the housing's all black. Now, to mount these, I've sort of looked at it in many different ways, drilling holes and sort of mounting them. I have sort of stuffed one shroud, so I've reordered another set. So I ended up cutting these out to mount the halo in there so the wire could go down, but doesn't look that neat. You can still see that sort of cut out in there once it's all mounted together, and wasn't really a huge fan. So what I'm going to do is, when these shrouds are mounted up, which is this way, yep, is because the projector sits so low in the actual headlight, I'm actually just going to run the wiring. So it's a little bit fiddly. I'm going to run the wiring straight through this little vent grill here. If you guys can see that really well. So through that little grill there. So it'll come out through the base. And then I'm just going to glue that up underneath that. To mount these to the shroud, I'm just going to use some JB weld, just a little bit. It's only to secure it there. And then once that's all dry, I can actually start mounting it to the headlight. And yeah, so we'll go from there. I'll throw some music up and you guys can be along for the ride. First up, guys, to mount the halo onto that and to get the wire through, is this little part here will need to get removed. So I just used a little flat blade. What's inside, I think, is just a resistor, so nothing too important. Well, it is important, but there we go. Just pop that open, and you get a little chipboard that's inside. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to undo the solder there and there, poke the wire through, and then resolder it back up. Very easy like that. Now you can't get those back to front because it's actually got positive and negative marked on the actual circuit board itself. So just to make sure that we're putting this at the bottom, which is there. This. So what you'll find is there's no thing for this to go straight through, so I'm just going to offset it, poke it through the side. Now I don't know which one I need to go for, can remove that. And you can just feed that through. Let's use that. Because that'll be underneath the shroud, it's going to be not so easy to see it because it is black as well. I think it'll be fine. And the next set of headlights I'm going to do, I'm actually going to buy them with the halos attached already, so I don't have to stuff around and do this again. Obviously this is my first set I've ever done, so don't criticise me too much. I am only learning. Now I have had to modify the inside of these halos, just inside there, to fit around the lip on these as well. So I just used a file to grind them back, and it seemed to fit quite nicely now, so that's always a plus. So I'm just going to put those aside, and next what we can do is mix up some JB weld, and then we can mount these halos to the shrouds. So I'll just go grab some stuff to mix this with, and I'll be back in a sec. Alright guys, so I just got a little piece of cardboard, and I'm just going to use the end of this touch-up brush that I should probably throw out. So the idea is like a 50-50 sort of mix. I'm really not going to need a whole lot because this stuff is very, very strong. So you sort of just squeeze them both out. Same amount. Grab your stick and you just mix them together. And to go like a real dark grey when they're mixed. Just like that. Now this is going to be a bit tricky, I think. So you're going to probably witness me nail this or completely stuff it up. Trying to spread that on just on that edge because that's its main point of contact to the shroud. That's on. Just roll it over. Do this. And a little twist. And then grab something. Oh, I should have planned about this. Something to keep a bit of weight onto it. So. Weight. Let's move that out of the way. Oh yeah, that's got a bit of weight. Grab this and we'll just put this over here. Yep, that'll work. Alright, that one does that. Oh well. Attempt number 2. Bit of a twist and leave the pressure on. Alright, so I'm just going to leave them for, I'll probably say about an hour or so. Let it really sort of harden up, and then I can start screwing everything together. The next thing would be to mount the demon eyes, which are these. So these sit on the back and aim all the way down, so it glows that red, which I won't show you until right at the end when it's all together. They look really cool. So we'll meet back up in about an hour when these are dry.
2 hours later.
Alright guys, so the covers are all dry now. So they're nice and stable in there. Cable is going to run down the inside. So I've already gone ahead and pretty much mounted it. It's pretty straightforward. Mount the shroud in. The demon eye goes up the top here, and then 4 screws holds everything together, and now that's nice and solid. Pardon me, nice and solid. So now I've just had the soldering iron put on for a bit to heat it up, so I can rejoin this connection here back to this fella here. That can stay down really good. So all we need to do is it goes there. Use that. Oh, that's now joined back together. I have looked at the idea of trying to put some heat shrink on that, so we'll give that a quick go. Obviously we'll use black, because I think this is going to be a little bit nicer than having one of these things sort of jammed there. Just, yeah, prefer it to look a little bit neater. So just measure that out, say roughly that long. Throw this over. Sweet. If you ever use heat shrink again, before, sorry, just heat it up with a lighter and it shrinks. It is pretty self-explanatory. It just makes that connection a little bit stronger now, because I won't be able to move around. Like, it moved around quite a lot in one of these little connection things. So that looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that. Next part is this here. Now this is the demon eye. Now this features 3 wires, which is your negative, your on, so either basically either a switch, or you can put it onto accessories, which is your parking lights, and then it's got this white one. Now the white one turns it off when you turn your lights on, so you'd hook this up to your low beam. So during the day you could have it on just parkers and it's working and running, but as soon as you turn your lights on so it doesn't interfere with anything, it'll turn that demon eye off, which is really cool. Now I obviously don't need this much cable, because that's quite a lot. I honestly probably only need it till about here. So I'm probably going to cut it shorter back here where the connection is, and then might put some heat shrink over the whole lot to sort of just make it into one little tidy loom. Alright guys, so I've just place the housing, the projector inside the light, just so I can show you guys what this is sort of going to look like. I've set it up with a battery here. So this is the demon eye. So as you can see, it lights up like a really cool red inside. I really need to clean that lens before I seal this up. So that gives you a good idea what it's going to look like. And then the angel eye, which is super, super bright. Now, let's put that down so I can handle this. If I put those two together, like so, a little bit fiddly. See if I can get you a good angle. Because the angel eye is super bright, it's really hard to focus. You can kind of see it there. There you go. So the center of it is red, the outside is extremely bright. Extremely bright. But yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to look once it's all set up. And yeah, we'll keep trucking on with it. Alright guys, so I've pretty much assembled the headlight. I just took it apart, gave it a really good clean, and I know you guys wouldn't be interested in watching that. So it's basically all mounted up now. I'm liking how it's sort of looking. At the back here, I've used the H4 adapter as well, done the nut up. I've used my Ugga Dugga gun to do it up with one Ugga Duggers, and it seems to be like quite stiff now, like it's not moving at all. So I might hand tight it when I'm really happy with the product. All I'm doing with these here, I'm basically just going to extend them, label them, and then wait for my buddy to get here so we can actually mount the headlights. Then we can actually slowly turn this. I did add a small little feature. I don't know if you'd be able to really see it on the camera. Not really. Basically, when you look at the lens, instead of the lens being sort of shiny and clear like that one, I've painted the mechanism that goes in the back of it. So this is that high and low beam flap, and it actually reflects off that. So you add that in front of that and you can kind of see it goes darker. That's actually red. My camera just doesn't really pick it up that well. You can kind of see it. So basically when the car's just sitting there with no lights turned on in the daylight, someone can walk up and go, that's red, that looks cool. So it's just a quick, easy, you know, I just use some candy red spray paint that I've got that I'll be doing in a future episode on my FG lights that I've got here, which I'll be putting a 2.5 inch in that one, and then I'll be doing another 2.5 but a bigger shroud with an LED that's actually behind this one here, so it shines through. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of months, I believe, once I get a little bit extra cash behind, because I'm currently saving for a wedding. Yay me. So yeah, once I've got these back together, I'll pick up in another episode with these getting fitted to the car and then turned on, and a bit of a walkthrough on the lights themselves. So thank you for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, share around. Starting my YouTube channel off, so with this sort of stuff where you can you can do yourself. If you're not too sure, then you know it's what I do. I jump on the net and I look around and figure out how to do stuff myself. So yeah, as I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys, when these are fitted to my buddy's Mazda Bravo.